got a Treehouse beer, kind of an old school one. They don't brew that much. It's called In Perpetuity. Last time I had it, I think, was when I did a video review like 5 years ago. So this is basically Citra Nelson IPA. 6.7% alcohol. This was canned March 25th. So that is about, let's see, 10 days ago. So very fresh. And I already had one of these and it was very good. It made me think of the classic Treehouse. And yep, for about a year or longer now, Treehouse has been filling their cans so full that they always splash on your hands. So make sure to have a napkin around. Man, I'm smelling that already. Treehouse, I do a lot of reviews on here, and I make it clear when something's a little disappointing because I know that they have the ability of making a really fantastic beer. I think this is one batch where they really nail it. But they don't always nail it. I guess that's okay. Especially because it's so easy for me to get now. It's less than half an hour for me to drive to their brewery in Tewksbury. So there you are. Kind of a fun label. I don't know if they've ever had a printed can of this. I think it's just only ever been a sticker. Didn't get a huge amount ahead. This beer's really cold though. It was in the back of my beer fridge by the cooling element, so it might be a little cold. Sometimes if a beer's ultra cold, you don't get as much of a head because the carb is just not as active. When it warms up, it does. That's why if you have a hot beer, it'll foam out. There you go. Really good looking. It's very hazy, not ultra murky. And it's got a little bit of a color to it. But yeah, the Citra Nelson is just explosive. Yeah, almost all breweries, when they use Nelson, they seem it makes them a better beer. Yeah, that just smells super fruity and juicy. Like the Nelson doesn't combine with their yeast profile as intensely as Citra to make this creamsicle-y, unique flavor, but there is Citra in here. So the Citra and the Nelson together just make this really complex fruitiness. It's like pineapple, juicy white grape, tangerine, peach. They don't even have any tasting notes on here. I think it's the same description that they've always had in here. Not much, like 3 sentences, basically. But this smells really, really, really good. Yeah, their yeast is almost a little subdued, maybe because it's super cold. But even though it's super cold, it still has this big, nice, just super fruity aroma. Maybe a little apricot-like. Oh, and the flavor of their yeast profile comes out more. It's sort of candy note that's almost like banana. I feel like my camera angle is not good right now. And there's a little bit of bitterness in here. A little bit of earthy spice. This is super fresh, so you might be noticing a little bit of a just super fresh hop spiciness. Oh, I just realized it says year 1 up here. Does that mean they made this in their first year open? I don't know if they could get Nelson their first year open. Sure, that says keep cold and really fresh year 1. Not quite sure what that means. This actually is a little bit of an incensey thing in the finish. Sometimes that can build up and kind of mess with the bright fruitiness in an IPA. We'll see. It's definitely a little bit too cold. It has a nice, pretty full, soft feel. 6.7 is like it's not super strong for IPAs anymore. But they just give me everything I want at 6.7. Like you don't need an extremely strong beer, and I'm not getting like boozy notes from this at all. Something happens. It seems when you get to the mid 7 range, where the booziness in something becomes pretty noticeable, unless it's like a masterfully made beer. But when you're under 7, you shouldn't really notice that much booze. Yeah, it's sort of a dense mouthfeel. A good amount of hop oils drying out the tongue. Also, just I think I'm noticing it more if you burn your tongue or bite your tongue in the last few days. Then you kind of notice that the hop oil stuff a bit more. I think it's a little bit coarser on the tongue. This one doesn't have hop burn in the throat or anything. It's just very hop saturated. And it's a pretty complex beer. I mean, it's still a little too cold, but the aroma is more like fruit. The flavor is gets their yeasty candy ester banana like thing going on almost. Excuse me. And then it's kind of spicy in the finish. And there's kind of like a fresh fruity pepper in here, a little bit of green pepper, but also just like that's really good chili flavor. It's not capsaicin spicy, but it has that fruitiness that you get from peppers, like not black pepper, but real the fruit peppers, because peppers are fruits. A lot of that I get from Nelson. That's coming in more and more as I drink it, but this is great. I wish they would make this more. Um, it looks like 2 years ago they made this at the same time. I think when they release a lot of Nelson beers, like Harmonies or single hop Nelson beer. Um, Now they have this Nelson All Ways beer. Seems like when they do those is when they often release in perpetuity. I guess when they just get really good shipment of Nelson and Nelson Sauvin, New Zealand hop. In case you don't know, Citra, the classic American citrusy, juicy IPA hop, obviously. Might be my new favorite hop combo. I'm just getting tired of Galaxy. Galaxy is just too green and spicy. Um, but Nelson is just much more balanced. And I'm getting more into Mosaic too. I should look up for a Mosaic Nelson beer. That sounds like it'd be right up my alley. Very drinkable, but it's still packed with hop flavor. It's not like you want to chug this, but the experience is really nice. There might be a little bit, yeah, it's quite hop saturated, even though they don't describe this as double. I guess they don't say double dry hop, but they don't describe this as hop loaded or special or anything. It's the same price as Julius. Um, I think it's maybe more special than Julius. I'd give this a 4.6. Very, very good. Bye.